Alright, so I am professionally draining the rear end here. I pulled the plug and just in front of the camera here. There we go. And I had some metal filings on here. Probably doesn't look good to a lot of you guys, but these is a new set of gears. I'm not seeing anything wrong when I'm driving or anything, but you know, hopefully that magnet kept all that out of there. But this is pretty thin stuff. I was supposed to change this fluid a while ago after I put the Posi in. I call it Posi traction. Most people call it limited slip. So I'm doing it now, and I'm doing it now because I'm about to drive. Now, you guys know I drive to Arizona all the time, pretty regularly, and I'm gonna drive out to Colorado, I think, this weekend. So I wanted to do this before I drove. I also want to top off the front diff. So another thing that happened is that I had to clean out a cabinet where I parked the van, and in there I found some limited slip products I'm going to show you next. Alright, so some of you might remember I had this joint right there, put in a Posi limited slip rear end in this van, and they fouled it all up. They fouled up everything. I mean, it was a joke. And then when I was out in the desert, I did steel pass in this thing and all of that with Sarah, Wonder Hussy, and there was this noise. I couldn't figure out what the noise was, and a C-clip had fallen out. So the way the axle slides into the rear end there's just enough play, you know, but there was too much play. There was so much play that the C-clip that holds the axle in place fell out. It was sitting in the bottom of the differential. And I called them, and they weren't going to make it right. They were just jerks. So I went to another place. I think it's called Performance 4x4. I forget what it's called, but I've done videos on this. And when I put it in, they said, you know, drive it for so long and then replace the oil. And I've driven it longer than I should have. But I told them I had some of this. Now, what's in there now is an Eaton rear end. This is the rear end. Yukon is what Hooper's put in there. And they told me to put 2 of these in there. And I've been waiting to pick up another one. But yesterday, when I opened up the cabinet, I found this. And this is specifically for limited slip. Special limited slip axle gear lube. This Slick 50 is also for the same thing. And that's because way back in the 90s, I had a Dodge swept line. 1966, well, 67. It was interesting because on the transmission was cast November 1966. I was born in December 1966, so that old truck was being made at the same time I was, which was cool. And I had Hoopers do the limited slip on that back in the 1990s, and it always leaked. I forgot about that. It always leaked. That rear end leaked on me. Anyhow, that's why I had these products. So I'm sure they're still good. This one here I think is still new. Look at that, never even opened. So that's good. I've got some 80-90, and I've got some 75-90 here. This thing here is mostly full. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put a little bit of this into the rear diff while the bottom bolt is open and let some of that flow out of there just to make sure that it's coming out. Then I'm going to put the cap in it, and then I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put this in there, and then I'm going to put a bunch of this in there, and then I'm going to top it off with this. And I'm kind of doing it all by eye. There's probably an exact number. I don't know why that while I'm doing this there's helicopters now. There was no helicopters all day today. Anyhow, I'm just going to eyeball it and see how it goes. Is it the right thing to do? Is it the wrong thing to do? I don't know, but we'll find out. Remember, I'm not a mechanic. Don't do what I do. I'm just showing you what I do. And I remember a little bit came out up front when I did something. I put the axles in and I never topped that off. So I'm going to top that off as well. So that's what I'm doing right now. Alright, so what I did was I emptied this into that. Then I put all of this into this. Then I put in a bunch of the Kendall limited slip into this. Then I topped it off with this. So this thing here is filled up to about here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to squeeze that in to that rear diff, and then top it off with this if I can put any more in. Alright, let's see how this works out here. Don't know what you guys can see, but hope this looks okay. Putting the bottom plug in here, and just gonna crank on it a little bit. And there's mosquitoes in here that are just eating me alive. I really hate mosquitoes. Anyhow, okay, that should be enough. Hey, little point of interest for some of you, there's a comedy club, looks like it's kind of new. It's called The Comedy, I think. It's on Melrose. It's right near my house. I'm gonna have to walk over there and give that joint a shot. Okay, dripping out the cap here a little. Like I said, man, I am not a mechanic, right? I just kind of figure this stuff out. I'm gonna put this, you know, super pro bag of sawdust under here. Don't judge me. The sawdust and oil, you can use that for other stuff later. You know, just save that for a future project. Excuse me. I think I need some toilet paper. Okay, this is a good sign. It's taken all of it. It's taken it all, baby. All right. And it hasn't started coming out yet. That little drip was my fault. We're going to go ahead now and top this off with the 80-90 weight, I guess, till it starts coming out. I'll put more of that candle in if this, you know, I wonder about this. You guys can tell me. That candle for the limited slip, would it hurt to put that in a regular? Seems to me it wouldn't hurt to put it in a regular open diff. I have that up front. Man, this is taking a lot more fluid than I thought it was gonna. You don't need to watch every second of this, I suppose. I guess we're going to top it off with that Kendall stuff because it's just eating it up. It's eating it up. I don't think that the little bit of shavings that were on that plug are a big deal. Those of you are like, oh my God, that's terrible. No, it was a new gear set. It's normal. Those were very fine. They were coated in oil, and you kind of have to expect that. I'm getting no chatter or anything else in the rear end. Let me get some more of the other oil and put it in there. See how this. We're going to go full send with this no matter what, right? All right, you might as well watch me do everything. Kind of surprised at how much fluid this is actually taking. I really didn't expect this. I'll tell you, I have a pump with a tube that I use to pump the stuff in and out of these differentials. The problem is I couldn't find it, and typically I'm tripping over it in the shop. Every time I'm doing something, it's in my way. Today I go looking for it and I couldn't find it. Wow, this still ain't full. All right, I guess we're gonna put the Slick 50 in next. Who's screaming at the camera right now like, you're fucking it up, you're screwing it all up? I guess we'll find out. All right, I'm so pro. We really do have to put that on a t-shirt. I'm so pro. Meaning I'm not. I'm not. I am winging. I'm winging life, man. I've been winging this whole thing. This whole show. That so many of you take so seriously. Before you know it, man, it's over. So enjoy yourselves. Try to have a good time, you know. I'm getting nervous, man. This is okay, so I've put, this is pretty nuts. I've put 3 containers this size in here. By the way, this does say SAE 8090 Slick 50, so that is the same stuff, but it's also formulated for limited slips. Okay, look. Here's the... Okay, there's a little bit in these. Let's try to get all that in here. Since I'm a mad chemist. Okay. Excuse me. Alright, that's that. Okay. We're gonna fill one of these up. I think what's left is the 70, 80 or something, or whatever that is. I'm just gonna top it off with that. I don't know how important this is. I have always been suspicious of this. I mean, I've been doing mostly this, right? The 8090. We dumped this whole thing in there, which is, just so we know here, it is 8090 for limited slip, plus the limited slip additive, plus this. Let's put the rest of that in there. And it doesn't leave much in. You can see what the problem is. I just can't tip this up enough. The hole right here angles down slightly, and I don't have a hose for this. I would suspect I'm very close to being full. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of that little bit thinner oil in this. Just, you'll see. I'll show you, because I'm showing you everything. Okay, so that stuff right there came out of the 7590. Okay, 7590 is damn close to 8090, right? I mean, does it really matter? Does it really matter that much? Let's take this knife out of my pocket since it's been hurting me. It hurts me. I'm getting dirty. I'm dirty anyhow, you know what I mean? Alright. It's got to be close to being done here. It has to start coming out here pretty soon. Honestly, I've got 3 full... That drip is not coming out of there, it's coming out of here. I don't have that on tight enough. This is insane. I can't believe how much fluid this rear end has taken. This is nuts. Imagine if it was just dripping out. Imagine if I forgot to put the plug in. Imagine that. You can imagine that. I'm kind of amazed at how much fluid that this rear end has taken. Hope I'm not screwing up here. Reminds me of being a bartender. You know, I mentioned that comedy club. There was this, I can't think of her name. She's a good-looking, again with the helicopters. She's a good-looking Asian comedian that I follow on Instagram. And she promoted the place. And I thought, I never heard of that. It's not the Comedy Store. I think it's just called The Comedy. And again, it's on Melrose, and it's just, I think it's a couple blocks west of Vine, which that's my neighborhood. I could walk there. And I was a bartender for years. I was a door guy. and a bartender and a bouncer, all that stuff. I worked at the Jersey Shore as a bartender back in the 1980s. This is insane. This doesn't seem right to me. I mean, this has not started dripping out yet, and I've used. Anyway, I'm going to walk down to that joint and introduce myself and start getting up. All right, that's what I'm going to do. It's right close to my house, and I'm going to start doing that. So this whole thing is in there. This whole thing is in there. Now this whole thing is in there, and this whole thing is in there. It ain't leaking anywhere. What the hell? It can't take that much more fluid. I don't have any more. I might chance driving this thing to test it and get myself another one of these right here, because I need a little bit of that for the front diff. There's enough in here for this to be safe to drive. There's no doubt in my mind. At any rate, I will let you guys know how things go when I go to check out that comedy joint, and if it works out for me, I'll tell you. And you guys can come on down and goof on me. And then aside from that, I'll keep you posted on this, all right? So I'm sure I'm going to get some crappy comments in the thing. You're going to say, what do you do with that oil? I have a plan for this. It's just none of your business. And I don't know what else to think about this. At any rate, you see what I just did. I can't tell you not to comment. That's what everybody does here. So comment in the comments about what you think about all the different fluids I put in here, if you think it's going to be a problem. And if it makes sense to me what you say, I'll drain all this again and do it all over. But I think it's going to be fine. I think you could put almost anything in this and it'll be fine. It's just, again, with limited slip, you have to put an additive in there. If you don't do it, it makes a bunch of noise. And even with the noise, I don't think it's bad. You understand what I'm saying? But the chemicals, these additives for the limited slip, all it means is with an open diff, one wheel turns. With a limited slip or Posi, basically what happens is when there starts to be, when one wheel's spinning, if you're on a wet surface or something, the other wheel starts slipping, these clutches lock everything into place, and then both wheels turn. So one spins, if it starts to slip a little bit, the other one locks in, and that both rear wheels turn at the same time. So it's a cool thing to do for 4x4, because it helps with it means you have those two wheels turning. If you have a two-wheel drive and you put a limited slip or a Posi in your rear end, and you go ahead and give yourself a little bit of a lift and put some taller tires on with tread, you can pretty much get anywhere. But it costs money to put the limited slip in. And of course, this is an aftermarket housing cover here that gives me a drain plug and a fill plug. So, and this fill plug is slightly higher than the fill plug factory that's on the front here. And that thing was locked in, so I just said screw it and I'll do this, figuring a little extra fluid won't hurt. So I'm probably in a good spot already. You know what? Maybe what I'll do is move the camera for you and then put a pipe on a wrench, because I couldn't crack that because my wrench was too short. Maybe what I'll do is I'll put a pipe on it. I'll have to break out more tools. I really didn't want to do that. But if I crack that open and it starts to leak, I'll know that I've got enough fluid in there. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I can't see what you see, but right here is my finger in the picture. There it is. So right there is the original filler plug. You see that right there? So I'm going to go ahead and try to crack that open. And again, if fluid starts coming out, I know I got enough in there. All right. Don't know what you can see, but I'm trying. I could not get this to turn earlier. That thing's in there. Problem with this thing is, well, there we go. That thing was in there. Yep. Okay, we're golden. We're fine. It started pouring out. That's a really good thing. So I've got enough, I've definitely got enough fluid in this thing. So now we can go full send. All right. I hope this is on camera for you guys. Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. You know, it's interesting. I felt like it was obvious that the plug on the rear diff that comes with that aftermarket rear differential cover, it was obvious that that thing is higher. Okay, that's got to be tight enough. Than this one here. So I've got a little bit more fluid in here than the, I guess, is recommended, I suppose. But I don't think it's going to hurt anything. Then again, you guys will tell me. I'm already expecting a bunch of I'm already expecting a bunch of negative comments from people. But that's okay. It's okay. I'm used to it. I mean, I've got a sister, you know. I'm used to people saying negative things to me. All right. That's going to be it for now. I'm going to clean up this mess. I'll get a little more of that fluid for the front diff. I've been driving like that anyhow. And hopefully I can get some more work done. I got to put a rack on the Schwinn. I'm going to do that next. I think I got enough time to knock that out. Maybe I'll do a quick separate video on that for you. And I did do some wood milling today for this project. But I knew I had to get this done. I just had to get it out of the way. So stay tuned on the woodworking because that's coming too. And that's it for now. Be good to one another. I'll catch you in the next one.